Greetings, ghouls! Welcome to Deadsville Horror Talk. I'm your host, Ronin James, and to my left, my co-host, the lovely Steph Infection.
Hey, Scream Hearts.
We are going to be looking at the made in 2020 but released in 2023 film, Children of the Corn.
Very confusing.
Yes, quite confusing on the dates here. But it is just released on
Shudder.
A Shudder exclusive.
Yeah.
And you can check it out now. It is another remake of the Stephen King short story. What installment? How many remakes now?
12.
The 12th.
The 12th, if I remember. Yeah, the 12th.
The 12th installment of the Stephen King short story. I get a lot of use out of this short story, I'll tell you.
I thought there was like 5 until I saw that.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Holy
we
shit.
missed a few in there. We have to go back. 92, yeah, there's a lot.
I don't think I'll watch all those, no.
No, but this one, I think it was in theaters briefly, and now it is streaming on Shudder as a Shudder exclusive. You can watch it at home, so we heard bad things in the theater, and they all pretty much proved to be true. It's a good thing we waited to see this streaming, because... Yeah,
so
we'll get to that. But a bit about us first. I am Ronin James. I am the director and creator of Deadsville and Deadsville Rock and Roll Mysteries, starring Kane Hodder as the voice of Doggy Deviant and those zany rascals, Dickie Devil and the Deviants, along with Steph Infection, one of the co-stars of my sitcom.
Yes.
Also have some other things in the works. I am a veteran stunt coordinator and stunt performer. Long time in the industry. I've worked on a bunch of stuff. You've probably seen me in things like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Gotham, Escape Plan 2, fighting Sylvester Stallone.
I see that on cable a lot.
Yeah, it's out there.
It's on there. I'm like, hey, there you
You've seen me die or get my ass kicked at some point, I'm sure. I've had quite the career in stunts, and now I have transitioned to directing, which is what I went to school for to begin with. So here I am, and breaking down movies, talking about stunts, talking about special effects and gore and my favorite genre, horror. And I'm joined by Steph Infection.
Hello.
My co-producer, partner in crime, actress, what else? Name all the hats. Steph Infection, dance choreographer, horror host.
Promoter, accountant. Your ear when you want to rant about some film.
Yes. Good for that.
Business owner, everything. There's lots of hats that go.
Lots of hats for Steph Infection. Most of them say Deadsville, even though she doesn't wear her Deadsville hat. She has one.
I'm giving it to somebody, actually.
Yes, I know.
Who just reminded me.
Yeah.
To be released.
To be released, yeah. Hey, speaking of, you could check Dickie Devil and the Deviants out at Tromathon.
Oh, yes.
Tromathon is coming up, so this episode will air in a couple days from now. Tromathon is next week.
Next Friday, which is July 14th.
July 14th, and they will be playing there at the Mahoning Drive-In. Friday night, they will be joined by, who is it, All the Damn Vampires,
yes.
Dickie Devil and the Deviants, and Riverside Odds, Philly mainstay speed rock band who we love very much. And also,
we love them all.
R.W. Hellborn from Riverside Odds plays our principal Hellborn on Deadsville Rock and Roll Mysteries.
Yes.
So we like to keep it in the musical family since it's a music-based kind of show. And
keep a lot of things in the family.
We like to work with our people.
Yeah.
It's a valuable thing that you learn in the industry is you don't want to work with assholes, so you try and weed them out. And when you find the good people and the people that you're friendly with and the people you work with, you kind of pull them in and.
And for those of you who may just be joining us and don't actually know about our, we have obviously Deadsville Productions, but we also have a promotions company where we put on shows and festivals. So those
music
bands,
events.
Music events. So all those bands, it's a big horror fam, and it crosses crosses all waves.
Crosses multiple media platforms, especially nowadays, because everything is so tied together on the interwebs. So, enough about us, but if you want to check us out, our show here is a weekly podcast where we either rave or rant, or
both.
maybe a bit of both.
Yeah, usually it's a bit of both.
About the latest horror release, or if we don't have anything recent, we might dig back deeper. We haven't had to yet. Everything's been pretty recent. The show's still kind of new. Thanks for joining us here. If you're listening on Spotify, make sure you follow us. We appreciate it. If you are watching the video podcast on YouTube, be sure to subscribe. Follow, subscribe, like, share, tell your friends, all that good social media call to action stuff.
Yeah, it's especially important right now because we're trying to get as many followers in the next 30 days. So help us out. Tell
we got about a month left to reach our goal of 100 streams, like original people stream too. In 60 days, so we can monetize this podcast.
So help us out with that.
Help us out. Spread the word. Listen for a couple minutes, even if you don't listen to the whole thing. But I guarantee it's worth it, because I'm going to go off on this one. Woo, this one's going to be good. Be ready. Get your popcorn out, folks, because my rants will probably be better than the actual movie was.
Yes, and he already started giving me a migraine from it, so get ready. No, it's very entertaining. It's a lot.
Yes.
It's a lot.
There's a lot to unpack on this one. We're going to try to move quick, too. Hey, real quick. Mailbag address. Give it to him, Steph Infection.
Hey, if you want to comment on anything that we've done or we should do, or tell us a story, or show us a picture of somebody that you met, some horror celebrity, or
been to a con, send us experience picture, all that kind of stuff, whatever you want.
Anything you want.
Pop it up.
You should email us at deadsvillehorrortalk@gmail.com. Subject mailbag, and leave it, if you have a horror business, anything. You can literally, it's free promotions. We will just read it. We'll shout you out, and we'll read your questions or your comments or whatever have you.
Yep.
So, yes, deadsvillehorrortalk@gmail.com. Subject mailbag.
Mailbag. All right. Now, give us that synopsis, Steph Infection.
All right, Children of the Corn 2023. Possessed by a spirit in a dying cornfield, a 12-year-old girl in Nebraska recruits other children in her small town to go on a bloody rampage and kill all the adults and anyone else who opposes her. Soon, a bright high school student who won't go along with the plan becomes the town's only hope for survival. She's very bright, I suppose.
I guess she's bright. I mean, they tell us she's bright with a letter from college that she gets accepted. That's, well.
Yeah.
Nah, we're going to get to all that. Don't worry. Okay. So, before we get to all that, let's talk about our writer, Kurt Wimmer.
Yes.
And he's also our director.
Yes.
Kurt Wimmer. And Kurt, I got a lot of problems, bruh. I got a laundry list of problems with this one, bruh.
Say bruh. One more time. Let's hear it. Here we go.
I'm not gonna go yet. Go ahead. Give Kurt's fucking credentials.
Oh man.
Go
okay.
ahead. Give his fucking credentials, because I'm not. You're gonna get it in a minute, Kurt.
Well, this is the thing with Kurt. Kurt has written a lot of things that we all enjoy.
I have him up here.
He has been a writer.
Kurt's written a lot of stuff, yes.
Yes. I mean,
he's directed a few things, but Kurt hasn't worked in a while, apparently.
Yeah, so he wrote Law Abiding Citizen, just him. He wrote Salt, just him. These are great action.
Salt, not Saw, just in case
I
you
didn't say that.
I know, but I
Salt.
heard.
Yeah, Angelina Jolie.
Ultraviolet he wrote. Equilibrium he wrote and directed, which I loved. Equilibrium, cult classic sci-fi action movie. And I think this is the problem here, because all of his movies are action movies. Law-Abiding Citizen, the Ultraviolet, the Recruit,
They're
the
all-
Equilibrium, the Thomas Crown Affair,
Street Kings.
Street
even.
Kings,
Yeah, they're all.
Assault, Total Recall, Point Break. They're all action movies. And he got out of the game for a little while. And what I suspect happened was, and a lot of directors do this, I've worked with a few of them, I've had to, coordinate stunts for a few of them. They want to get back into the game, or newer directors are breaking into the game and they get told, well, you don't have a feature yet, so go do like a cheap horror movie so you can direct something and get a feature out there and get it on the festival circuit, and that way you get your name out there. This is what the agents for writers and directors will do. Directors mostly, and writers, both of them. Horror is the cheap, easy foot in the door for a lot of these directors. And they don't actually love or care about horror. And that's the biggest problem with this movie. Because it sucks. It's terrible. The writing is fucking horrible. I know I'm jumping to my first take here before we get to the cast, but we'll circle back because my first take really has to do a lot with the writer and directing, and that's where we're on right now, and he is directly in my crosshairs. And motherfucker, this is garbage. This is the worst type of just shit thrown at the wall that you could fucking come up with. I mean, it's fucking horrible. It's fucking horrible. It was like, I hope you guys out there appreciate the fact that I knew I had to watch the whole thing so I could review this, because I was ready to turn it off. It was so fucking bad.
I'm not on the horrible end of the spectrum here. I've seen a lot of horrible. I didn't find this horrible.
Yeah, this was horrible for me.
Yeah,
but
you've seen worse.
But my point being that I feel that Mr. What's his name? Kurt Wimmer mailed this one in because his agent told him, go do a horror movie to get back in the game because you haven't directed anything.
Since Ultraviolet.
Since Ultraviolet in what, 2008?
2006.
2006.
Yeah.
You haven't directed anything in like 15 years, dude. Go do a cheap fucking horror movie. Oh, this one's got Stephen King's name attached to it. Just fucking mail it in, dude. You just got to get your name on something and get it out there, and we'll get you some more work.
And you started saying this, that it felt this, like even today, like we didn't watch this together, but you started saying it feels like somebody, like he's directed, he's written all these like great things. Why would he do this? And then we kind of dug, and we found out that he had creative differences, and he left, he wasn't listening to the studio.
Yeah, and which movie was that on?
Ultraviolet.
Ultraviolet.
For 2006, that was the last one he's ever directed. And he
walked off set or
literally,
something, right? Is that what happened? He walked off set for creative differences or something? Or
it didn't say that. It just said that he left the studio.
And the studio
it sounds like at the end of it.
So this is him like trying to get weasel his way back into the industry.
Because then he was a writer on all these great things, and then this
great
is the first
action things.
Yes,
action.
yes.
This is why he had no business even dipping his fucking toe in horror, and it pisses me off to no end that a clown like this, who doesn't care about the source material, gets handed this fucking franchise.
Yeah.
Like, give somebody who actually cares about horror this fucking movie. Why would you give this guy this movie? He is obviously not the right person for it if you look at his IMDb page.
Somebody knew somebody and also it was during COVID. So.
This was during COVID. This was shot in Australia. So it's probably super low. I mean, I guarantee it's super low budget.
It said indie budget.
Yeah, it's very indie budget. You can tell by the special effects and everything else in here, which we will get to. But, we're on the writer and director right now, and this guy gets 2 fucking thumbs down. He'd get a foot up his ass if he was here, because this is awful, man. If Stephen King, I would love to see what Stephen King thought of this, but he doesn't usually say
he's not going to watch
mean things.
Maybe. He might. I don't even know if he watches like adaptations.
He probably would. He'd probably get 5 minutes into this and be like, I'm gonna go watch. Where's that Carrie remake? I'm gonna go watch that again instead.
There's 12. I mean, this is the 12th adaptation of it.
Yeah.
But this is why I like you having an insight, because I wouldn't even have put that together, but when you started saying this is almost like somebody directed this just to get their foot in the door. So you didn't even understand. You were trying to like wrap your head around why he would take this.
Yeah, because I hadn't really
since
looked
he directed
at his...
and everything. And then when we really went...
I didn't look at the dates and everything else and realize that there was that huge gap since the last time he directed something. So it totally makes sense. And this is why you guys should listen to Deadsville Horror Talk, because you get this kind of inside information that you're not going to get on other podcasts, because I've worked with directors and stuff that do this kind of thing, and I can tell you this is probably exactly what happened on this one. So
I'm learning all the time, so you guys should learn too.
Anyway, I'm gonna keep patting myself on the back, but let's get to our cast.
Oh yeah,
because a couple recognizable names. You had Callan Mulvey, who was in 300.
Yeah,
said, and a bunch of stuff. Callan Mulvey's been in a bunch of stuff. He's a good character actor.
Endgame, he was in apparently, and. Captain America and stuff off the top of my head. He has a face that I was like, I know you, but I don't remember him actually.
He's one of like the SHIELD agents in Captain
I don't know.
America and stuff.
I just saw him listed there, but yeah.
Bruce Spence. Many people will recognize Bruce Spence. He's a longtime Australian actor who was in The Road Warrior. You'd probably remember him as Gyro Man. He flew the helicopter and had the snakes, and he kind of becomes. Have you seen Mad Max?
Yes, but I don't have
The Road Warrior.
I have, but
He's
I can't.
He's like the goofy guy that flies that gyrocopter.
When you were saying it earlier, I was like, God, I can't picture him, but
That's
I can see his face.
my earliest memory of him.
I can see his face and things.
So yeah, he's great in this. He's good. For what he's given.
Yeah, I think
he's decent enough. The highlight for me, obviously, is Kate Moyer.
Oh yeah, she was great.
As Eden Edwards,
evil little child. This is our you can tell just even by the trailers and everything. She's our crap, what was his name in the original? The one that looked like he was Isaac. Yeah. He looked like he was 40 years old in the original, Isaac. And he was like a kid that was just weirdly going through puberty in the middle of filming.
Isaac looked like
he had wrinkles. He had more wrinkles than I do.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
But it made for a good on-screen character.
Yeah, she's our Isaac, and
she was really good though. She was crazy. She was really commanding in scenes. Like when she was on camera, she like,
I think we're going to see her a lot of stuff coming forward.
Yeah,
and that's what's kind of cool about this, because it's one of those things that people will probably see, and it'll get like her more recognition because she was that good of an actress in this.
Yeah, and this was filmed in Australia, and she's a Canadian actress, so they flew her down there. So they really liked her for this. I didn't really look into much. Bruce Spence is an Australian actor, so that makes sense that he was there. And I'm not sure about Callan Mulvey, but let's talk about Elena Kampouris.
Yeah.
Who plays our lead high schooler, Bolin Williams.
She's been in some things.
And she was just terrible.
She should be in like the Hallmark movies, like crying over her boyfriend. She cried the whole time.
Like every scene, she was just crying. Like every scene, I'm like, does this girl do anything but cry? Like even in the beginning, before the killing started, she was crying.
And this is we're not even getting into the thing, but I said she was a good actress, but she was just too much. Like she was acting too much for this role. So somebody needed to tell her in her acting school to tone it down for different roles, because she was like every scene was just
and the tears, everything was crying. I mean, that could be directing too.
You used to be somebody I looked up to.
Oh God, yeah, that one. Oh yeah, so yeah, she was awful, man. It was painful with her.
She was a lot.
We also had Jaden McGinley as Cecil, Bolin's brother, and he was okay. I mean, he's probably like a local Australian actor.
Yeah, I thought he was decent for the role he played.
I mean, a lot of the kids weren't great. It's a bunch of kid actors not from Hollywood, so they weren't too great. Joe Klochek as Calder, the older brother, though, I thought he was really good. I liked him. I thought he was good enough for what
they were all fine. But even the little kids that probably aren't even credited, that they had like creepy sing-songing. I thought they were all like decent, creepy kids.
They were
like
okay.
None of them.
They were okay. they weren't given a whole lot to work with. I mean, that's the biggest thing.
No.
The cast, the script is bad. I mean, it's bad. So like, even if they were decent actors and actresses, it'd be tough to tell because they're just given such shit. All right, enough about the cast of this terrible movie. Let's get to our first takes.
Okay.
Steph Infection, ladies first, as usual.
Course, yeah.
You know the deal.
Because my first take is a little bit different than yours.
Probably.
Because it's already used the words like horrible. We watched this separately, we'll say this, and I felt like I had to like include him on my entire like thought
Journey.
process through this movie without giving anything in, so like too much. So I overall thought it was okay. Our text message. I'm trying to like find the words for this because I kept wanting to shut it off. Like I had this. I can't watch this anymore. I need to shut it off. And then something would get me, and I'm like, oh, all right, that was cool. All right, oh, now I want to shut it off again. Oh, well, that was kind of cool. All right, I guess I'm going to watch this through. And then I kept texting you, and I was like, I'm going to take a break. I can't watch this movie anymore. Oh, something brutal just happened. Okay. All right. Oh, I'm back in. I guess I'll just finish it. Like it kept like kind of wheeling me back in where I wasn't completely and utterly like bored from it. Like it had moments that were like probably every 20 minutes throughout it. So overall, it was a fine watch. I will never watch it again. I think if you are a Children of the Corn fan, that you should see it just to have your own opinion on it, because you will disagree, but I thought there were some great kills and whatnot in it. I thought it was pretty
We'll
brutal.
get to that. We'll discuss that.
Yeah, but yeah.
So your first take is you made it through it, but wouldn't recommend it? What? I don't know.
I don't know, but your first take is usually a lot longer than what I'm doing right now.
I don't know. Well, I'm trying to decide what your take is here. What is your...
It kept me engaged.
You're kind of flip-flopping. You're like, I want to turn it off, but then I kept
That's
coming
what I
back.
mean. Every time I thought I wanted to turn it off, something pulled me back in, and I was like, oh, all right, I'm in it. So it was fine.
It was fine.
It was fine. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't horrible like you've been saying. I
Okay.
thought it was fine.
Okay.
I thought it was brutal at parts.
Are you
but
done now? Are you done? Can I?
I'm going to time.
Can I?
Yeah, go.
Okay.
Because I'm going to see how long this is since
Okay.
you cut me off.
Well, don't forget on that timer that we've had to stop and run
No,
fucking
no,
cuts and
I'm
everything
talking
else.
about when I just started my first take.
Okay. All right. Anyway. This steaming pile of shit wasted 90 minutes of my life that I will never, ever get back. And it's a disservice to Stephen King's name. The only good thing about it was the young actress who played Eden, who was creepy as fuck and could actually act. The dialogue was so bad. There's so many questionable creative decisions. Just nothing made sense. Like, why were certain things happening? Where's all the adult supervision? What the fuck?
It's Children of the Corn!
It was so, and I read, and here's what really killed me about it. If you're looking for, as they call, a bloody rampage, that doesn't happen, man. Spoiler alert, there's no bloody rampage. We're going to get to it later, but it just was such a like misleading, terribly paced, terribly shot, horrible CGI, bad prosthetics and like kill effects, just shit that didn't make sense by the laws of physics. And it was just awful. It was just awful. This fucking writer/director mailed it in. And if I saw this and he came to me and showed me this piece of shit and tried to, do something for my studio, I'd be like, yeah, I'll pass, dude. You're never working again. I don't care that Equilibrium was fucking awesome 20 years ago. And Equilibrium was awesome 20 years ago. I fucking loved Equilibrium. I had no idea it was the same motherfucker. But this shit is a steaming pile of dog shit. terrible. Don't waste your fucking time. It's not even worth the laughs. I've seen people laughing about stuff, and there was shit that's laughable. Believe me, there's plenty of laughable shit. But it's not even worth the 90 minutes for the laughs in it. I don't think you can smoke enough weed, drink enough beer to get you into the state where this would be an enjoyable fucking movie. It's fucking awful. There's my first take.
That's why I said I think if it's like an action, if you're like a die-hard Children of the Corn fan,
If you're
you've seen every one of them, every one of those 11 other ones, yes, see this one. That's fine.
I mean, I guess.
I don't think, I like cheesy, so we didn't see this.
The only part of the movie that I enjoyed was the end. And I won't spoil it. That's all I'll say. The very, very ending scene where they ripped off Carrie, kinda, and like did a little. They did that little like fucking rip off of the Carrie / Friday the 13th. Ripped it off of Carrie too. Kind of, that kind of. But they tried to do that too. That was kind of good. I kind of like that little ending bit. But that was about it. And we'll get to why I like that ending bit when we dig deeper.
Yeah, so are we ready? I feel like we just got to dig deeper.
Yeah, let's get the shovels out and get right to it, man. Because this movie is shit, and we need big shovels to shovel this shit.
I don't think it was shit.
Shit. Absolute fucking shit.
Oh, man.
Comment if you agree or disagree. I'd love to hear some reasons why this thing wasn't a complete steaming pile, but let's dig deeper, Steph.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
I'm shoveling shit.
Are you gonna put? Oh, you're shoveling shit now.
Phew! This movie stinks. I gotta shovel all this shit.
Oh, I thought you were gonna throw me in that ditch with all those parents.
Yeah. All right. We're digging deeper, folks.
Dun, dun, dun.
Here we go. Let's start at the beginning and run through this whole fucking thing quickly and just point out some of the dumb shit, and if there's anything redeeming about it, you can try and convince me.
This is the thing. We almost were fist fighting like earlier over this because I saw some like parts of this entire movie that I was like, I thought that was cool. I thought that kill was cool. I thought that was cool. I don't care if it was cheesy because I read that it was so low budget because they did not want to stop through COVID. So you have to take that into consideration too. They were going to get axed through COVID, so they had
to rush through this.
They had to rush through it.
It feels like it.
Yes, but also the effects of it, like
the effects shouldn't be. You shouldn't have to rush through because of COVID for effects. All the CGI was fucking horrible.
Well, I'm not talking about the CGI.
And that you could have spent more time on. But COVID doesn't affect CGI, does it?
No, it
you're working at home on your computer.
Yeah, but he probably didn't pay somebody well enough. So either way, it was like, okay. So opening scene, I kind of like this opening scene.
The opening scene kind of gave me some hope. When it started, I was like, oh,
we got Eden like sitting on this like fake horse or whatever, like a toy outside, and she's obviously in a orphan's home or something.
Yeah. She's in an orphan's home. She's sitting out the cornfields, and this fucking teenage boy comes walking through. He's got a knife in his hand. He's all bruised up, and he says,
"I don't want you to cry anymore."
Yeah.
And I thought he was going to go. I thought he was going to kill her.
Yeah. Well, the way they cut in, and that's the thing. Like that opening scene was actually shot pretty good. They zoom in on the knife, and you see his face, and she's kind of like, "What's going on? What's he going to do with that knife?" kind of thing. And then he goes in, and somebody comes out. And, where you been? And he stabs the one counselor, and he goes down, and then he goes in the door, and you just hear a lot of screaming. And
we just assume he's killing people.
He's killing all the adults. And
but see, I still wasn't even there yet. I was like, who is he killing? I don't know. Like, who is he killing?
We heard screaming and his name and you assume it's the adults because it's Children of the Corn. He's not going to kill the children. Yeah. So then, we get a cut of the sheriff and a couple people from town with a long fire hose. Yeah, and they're pumping in
some methane gas.
Well, what it was, we cut to it was like an actual it was like the state police getting the call to go follow up on a local because the local yokels who in this fucking backwater town had this kid in stabbing people, and instead of just rushing in or anything like that, because it's a kid with a knife, they start pumping in this this cow tranquilizer gas.
So I know that we're going to get there where like nobody would ever fucking do this, but the fact that we had like the state police get
and they're even
this
saying
call,
these idiots are doing this.
That's
They
why
even
it
said
was more
Yeah,
believable.
yeah.
Like these like hillbilly
Yeah,
rednecks.
yeah.
Like,
Even the state, like when the calls come to start off, when the calls come through.
so that's why I was like, yeah, it was kind of believable at this point. Like these dumbasses would do this in their little town.
Yeah, but I even question that they would even the dumbest dumbasses, I don't think would do that. It's just it's one kid with a knife, man. Like you got cops with guns, it's one kid with a knife.
I know. They could have ended all this.
Anyway, we're gonna move on from that. So that shit happens, and that's like the big massacre.
And then we see a cell phone, so we know this is 2023. You know, we see a cell phone. They're kind of scrolling to see that this story happened, and there were 15 children that
15
died.
children killed, and the sheriff's not going to get reasselected because he fucked up, and blah, blah, blah. You know, it's all a fucking fiasco. So Eden gets adopted by the preacher, and then we get to see, this is like a little bit later or something like that. I guess it's like 6 months later or something.
Yeah, I got kind of confused.
Yeah, they don't give you like a
I got
time
very
frame on like the
confused
time
at this
jump
point.
where like they talk and they're like, oh yeah, we forgot that one point. Eden, after all the kids were killed in the fucking orphanage and all the adults and everything, all that shit went down, Eden was just wandering out in the corn rows for like 4 days.
Well,
they found her later.
she says that, and they're like,
No, they say it because they have her in the interrogation.
That's what I
room.
mean. Like, yeah, before
The cops are talking, and they're like, yeah, we just found her wandering for 4 days, and maybe you can find out if he said anything. And no, he didn't say anything.
And that was creepy too, because he was like, "What did he say?" He said, "I don't know,
Oh,
nothing
he said,
really."
"I'm
He said, "I'm
sorry."
sorry." He said, "I'm sorry for killing all those people." No, he said, "I think he meant I'm sorry for not killing all of you."
Yeah,
too.
not
And I
killing
was
you
like,
all. He said, oh, for killing all the adults in the orphanage, and she was like, no, like he's sorry he didn't kill all the adults.
Yeah, like, and she was so like matter of fact in her.
She was
in her
great, dude.
deliverance.
She was great.
Oh, she was really good.
When the script allowed her to be. So then we meet Bo. And Bo and her brother talking in the cornfield. And Bo, here's my fucking. And they're talking about how this shit kicker town. Oh, I can't wait to get. And she pulls out the letter. Well, little brother, here, look at this, because I'm leaving.
They don't
in
talk
2
like
weeks.
this, by the way.
No, they don't talk like this. But this is the way Hollywood paints these fucking people all the time, man.
I'm getting out of this town.
I'm getting out of this
You're
little
never coming
town.
back. Yes, I will.
Yeah. She got her acceptance letter to college, and she's leaving this shitty old dead-end town. And her brother's like, yeah, you're never gonna come back, sis. I'm mad.
I promise you, I will. No, you hate this town. You're never coming back.
Yeah, she hates it, never coming back. Yeah. So then, after all that exchange goes on, they run into the little psycho chick, Eden again, who's now on horseback with a red wig and red cowboy boots, and she's already got her little gaggle of fucking children who are gonna fucking push some kid off the plank.
And he's on a high plank. It's like a water tower.
Yeah, it's like a water tower or a corn tower, one of them, Johns, like the fucking corn
that
tower.
makes more
Yeah,
sense.
where they would fucking, It could have been water though, because that's where they had to water the corn.
I don't know.
So it could have been like I don't know. I'm not a farmer. I don't know what that shit is. It's a big fucking tank in the middle of a cornfield.
I think it's water.
And they got this kid, and they're poking him in his shit, and you let your dog die, and light the bonfire, and these fucking kids are just running amok in the middle of the cornfield.
Going to murder a kid.
Like, whoa, look at these. So they're murdering this kid for letting his dog eat poison and die from a rat trap? Like, that's a little harsh. And then other kids are joining in. They're just coming out of the woodwork, coming out of the cornfield, and just be like, oh, you let them all die? Oh, yeah, fuck that kid. Fuck him. Walk the plank.
Now, they were playing pirates, but it was a little too much like...
It was very real.
I was like, oh my God.
It definitely had fucking... I would say it had Children of the Corn vibes, but
Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies vibes, yeah. And Lord of the Flies vibes, definitely to it.
But like, even she comes out, and then this 18-year-old kid who just turned 18 or whatever.
Yeah, the boy, our what's his name? Robert, was it? No. It's where is he? Calder Covington.
So he comes out and he's like, "What are you guys doing?" Now it's his grandmother's car. They're all like
At first he's like
windows.
yelling at them for smashing his grandma's car.
But they had like a stack of, what was that, like the corn stalk, or like the like that they were going to have him jump into.
Yeah. It was like a witch's
husk,
bonfire
but it
of
was all
husks
like the
and shit.
husk.
Yeah, and they were going to light it on fire.
Because I was like, if he jumps from that height, he's going to
look
break
safe.
all his bones, like every bone in his body, like. And then they were like, yeah, they were going to light it up, and so, but him jumping was fine, but they were like, Bo's like.
Bo, of course, the one with
you can't
the brains.
actually light
You
it
can't
on
do
fire.
that.
And they're like,
this whole
okay.
place will blow up because corn dust.
Corn dust.
Is that a thing? I don't even know if that's really a thing.
I'm pretty
sure I have
sure
no
that's a
idea.
thing.
If somebody's a farmer and wants to tell me that corn dust explodes, I'll believe you. I've never heard that before in my life, but apparently she was saying,
I'm pretty
corn
sure
dust
it
will blow
probably
up,
is.
will blow the whole place up, you'll blow us all to smithereens.
Yeah, that's something that I feel
And
like
that's foreshadowing for later because, of course, they've got to hit you heavy-handed over early with the foreshadowing. Bonk. Here's a corn dust explodes. Bonk. There's your foreshadowing.
See, I'm so oblivious. I'm like, oh, okay. I did not.
This will come back later. Remember it. Bonk. They fucking
Yeah,
hit
it's
you over
like-
the head with that foreshadowing. It's just so not subtle.
No, I didn't even catch it.
So then we also get, I love this part here. I love this line. This was some great dialogue here. There's this sweet, like 66 Plymouth, like in the middle of the fucking cornfield that the kids are jumping on and it's a fucking sweet old muscle car, man. They're smashing the windows and jumping on the hood. I'm like, you're wrecking that fucking nice old fucking muscle car. Hold on, let me finish. Hold on.
Okay.
Man. And then, and the Calder comes out, you're jumping on my car, blah, 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 blah. And Bo says, why is your car parked in the middle of the cornfield? To which Calder answers, mind your business. If I want to park it out in the cornfield, I'm going to park it out in the cornfield. He doesn't give her an answer. There's no reason for the fucking thing to be parked out in the cornfield. You know why it's parked in the cornfield?
He grows.
Bonk! It's foreshadowing because they need it later in the movie. Bonk! They need the gasoline because they make sure to, bonk, hit you with the foreshadowing where he leans over and goes, man, y'all even broke the gas tank and there's a little bit of gas dripping out because kids jumping up and down on the top of a hood can somehow break the gas tank of the fucking car. But they did. And so, bonk, foreshadowing, there it is. That's why the cars, because the writer was like, why is this car parked in here? I don't know. Fuck it. Have him tell her to mind her own business. Yeah, that's good. Pat myself on the back. Mind your own business.
They did bring it up later. He said he was growing weed, so he needed it out there. But I was like, I didn't see any.
What the fuck does this car have to do with weed out there? What the fuck do you need a car for weed for?
But if you go,
I'm so confused.
If you go watch because I rewound it.
I remember him saying something about smoking weed. That's his plan to move out of town. He's gonna be a weed farmer and move out.
But he was like, that's why the car was there. Like that was in direct relation to the conversation about why the car was in the middle of the field. Because she's like, she goes,
but that makes no sense still. That doesn't really.
No.
What does the car have to do with growing weed?
I don't know.
And we didn't see any weed.
I didn't see any weed.
No, and you pointed out too that we noticed later on when she drives the car out of there, there's no way in. How did he get the fucking car in there in the first place? There's no fucking driveway, there's no nothing. It's just completely engulfed in corn.
And so that means that car had to have been sitting there for an entire season. An entire season. So a year that car has been
I mean, is he
there.
growing the weed in the car? I don't see how he's going to grow enough weed to move out of town.
Maybe it was in a water tank. Maybe there's like black
hydro.
lights.
He's got like hydroponics going. The car battery's what's running the hydro in the water tank.
No, it was so
sweet. We
weird.
worked it all out now, Calder. Don't worry, Kurt. Wimmer, Swimmer, whatever the fuck, Kurt Wimmer. We did your job for you. Don't worry. You're definitely not Kurt Winner with this one. Woo. God damn.
That was a good one.
Thanks. So yeah, we get all that bullshit. And here's the other part. Like, Bo just keeps watching, like when they're gonna stop. You can't light it, you're gonna blow it up. But she never like tries to stop. It never dawns on her to like stop these kids or to be like, hey, could you guys not kill each other?
There was multiple points that you were like, why did she let that happen? Or why didn't she go to parents and stuff? But I was like...
There's a scene.
Yeah,
we're going to jump around, man. I don't want to go through this whole fucking movie scene by scene. We're just going to talk about some of this dumb shit.
But I also
There's a scene where she's got those kids. They've dug out a pit.
He's just, here he goes.
Here I go.
Here we go. I'm going
Here it comes. Ronin's rant.
Here we go.
Ronin's rant. They dug out a fucking pit, right? Bo rolls up, and they dug out these kids. It's like 6 and 8 and 10 and 12-year-olds. They dug out excavated this huge fucking swimming pool-sized hole in the fucking cornfield. And they have killed a pig and bleeding them out, and they are painting the corn roots with blood. They are painting the corn roots with blood.
Time out. You have to know that she's obsessed with the Queen of Hearts, though. That is a staple in why they're painting the corn red.
I mean, I don't. But Bo doesn't know that. I'm talking about what Bo's reaction. I'm about to rant on Bo's reaction. I'm not talking about the Queen of Hearts or anything.
She knows that she's obsessed with the Queen of Hearts. So.
Okay.
So it's
at any rate, Bo comes upon this scene. 15 or so small kids killed a fucking pig and painting blood in a fucking excavated death pool on the cornfield. And never once does it dawn on her to say, hey, yeah, maybe y'all shouldn't do that, or maybe I should go get a fucking adult. Maybe tell somebody with some authority. Maybe tell a parent. Tell somebody. I don't know whose fucking pig that is they killed, but I'm sure they're missing it. It was a big fucking pig.
No, she needed her to go pick up the reporter at 12 years old. Come on.
They just kept, the rant just keeps going because yes, as Steph just so graciously pointed out, she couldn't go tell him.
No.
She couldn't go tell him because she needed to send the 12-year-old psychopath to the edge of town, and I quote, go to the edge of town and meet the reporter from Omaha and bring her to the courthouse because we send 12-year-olds as emissaries to meet influential reporters and people from the media. That's who we send the fuck out, right? That's who fucking goes.
There were three
right?
18-year-olds that she picked up in her car.
Yeah, not her girlfriends that were with her, not the boy who was fucking growing weed and was 18. None of them could go. No, send the fucking 12-year-old and her minions who were painting blood on the corn roots. That's a good idea. Holy shit, I can't even believe.
There's so much more
I can't even believe that, like, when
you say it out loud, because I'm so.
It's fucking ridiculous.
A lot of things go over my head when I just watch stuff. I'm like, whatever. All right, that happened.
I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what I was fucking watching. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
It was a little ridiculous. And that's why I kept trying to check out, and I was like, oh, all right, well, he killed somebody. I guess I'll stick around.
So then we move on to this was the next ridiculous. It was just like one stupid, ridiculous thing happening after another. So the reason that Eden had to go meet them and she told her to gather all the parents too. That was another thing. Gather all the parents and bring them to the courthouse. Kids, all go get your parents and bring them to the courthouse as tell them my dad's going to say something, blah, 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 whatever. So then we cut to the dad, and mom, Bo and C's.
This was for
mom and dad waking up in handcuffs.
Yeah.
And they wake up in handcuffs and their kids are at the bottom of their bed and they're like, you told me to be a fighter, and that's what I'm doing. I'm fighting, Dad. So we're gonna tell you, you just better come along quietly. And he does?
Well,
him and the mother just get up.
No, the mother. No.
The mother's still sleeping. The mother was such an insignificant turd.
But they literally said at one point, "Don't wake your mother." He goes, "Fine, I'll tag along. I'll go with your plan." Like he thinks that they're just going to be like they're doing something innocent.
Boy, if my son handcuffed me and woke me up,
you mother,
I would fucking murder.
I know. But the weirder part is that they say, don't wake your mother, and then they shine to her driving this like station wagon with the reverse seats and like the hatchback part, and the mother is sleeping on The dad's like this.
Not just
like,
that. Okay, look.
Not that you
Look.
can
Let me tell you about the
Jesus
station wagon.
God.
It's this old ass station wagon, and I used to party in one of these fucking things when I was younger. When I was a teenager, this was the
partied in
Torino
the
John
station wagon?
that we used to party in. This station wagon had a Danzig skull stenciled on the front of the hood, green Ford
you
Torino
party
station
in a-
wagon.
in a
We used to
station
drive
wagon?
around and party in the back, man. It was fucking.
Oh.
So all of us would pile in, and that was called the backpack. The backpack
Yes,
was where
that's what I called it.
Yes, so
Yeah.
in the backpack,
reverse.
it would fold down, but the backs of the seats would fold up, and you would have or fold up this way, and you would have little seats for small children
begged to
sit
sit in
in
the
the
backpack,
backpack and
yeah.
look out the back window. Okay, so when they drive down the street, not only. Not only does Dad agree to go along with this ridiculous fucking plan and stay handcuffed and carry Mom, but Mom and Dad are in the fucking backpack. He agrees to sit all like this motherfucker his knees are up, he's crunched in, Mom's on his shoulder, there's like
Sleeping.
fucking
Sleeping.
I'm just like, they don't even have the decency to put Mom and Dad in the back seat.
They should have at least said that Mom had like an addiction to Xanax or something.
They put
like,
him.
That would have.
Oh yeah. Well, Mom wasn't. Yeah, we kind of get the idea. Mom had her own issues early in the movie.
Not
They had the
that,
one scene
no,
jumping in the truck with a random guy while her kids are standing right there. She's going off to get some dick right in front
She
of the
didn't know.
kids.
She didn't know that though.
This is like.
Listen, you do things you don't know your kids see sometimes.
All right, but still, like this was like. She was standing right out front of their house in broad daylight, and she's talking to some dude in a pickup truck, and she's married, and the dude's obviously not her husband, and she's got the leg up, and she's leaning in, and she's laughing, and next thing you know, she gets in. Yes, it looks like a prostitute. It looks like it was a John picking her up.
Yeah, it didn't look like a actual like cheating on my husband with some guy.
No, but that's.
It looked like I'm
But it
getting
was cheating
paid
because she
for-
was cheating.
yeah.
But yeah, just broad daylight in the middle of the day, flirting with this dude, and then gets in his truck and drives off.
Like if you're having an affair,
You don't do it in broad daylight.
no, but you also jump very quickly in the trunk.
Yeah, you don't sit there and talk for a little bit. And you don't get picked up at your house. You'd be like, I'm going to the supermarket, and then you go to the
No,
supermarket.
it was like she was like a press. Yeah, she was.
It was just so fucking dumb. It was just so. It made no sense. There's just so much stuff in here that in real life,
And
like I
they're
know.
keep that between Mom and Dad. Don't get involved.
Yeah. It's not Mom. It's not Dad. It's this town. Where I'm Cecil the Crybaby.
Maybe she is a prostitute.
Oh my God, it could be, but whatever, man, whatever. This was just, there was so much stuff that I know, like it's a movie, don't always compare it to real life. I know there's certain things that you have to suspend disbelief for, but holy shit, when every choice made in the movie goes against common sense and what a logical, normal, everyday person would do, even the dumbest logical, normal person would do. If you're going against that on every decision in the movie, you're losing me. You're losing me. And that's what this fucking movie did, man. Because no sooner, they get him in the backpack. He goes along with the plan.
In the backpack.
They showed it like, okay. And he's sitting in the backpack just like,
I know.
Dude, I can't even imagine being the actor Callan Mulvey, who was in 300, and now he's sitting in the backpack? He's handcuffed in the backpack by a 17-year-old?
Now he's sitting in the backpack.
This motherfucker was in 300! He fought armies! Fuck, man, and now he's in the backpack with his fucking... with his prostitute wife passed out on his shoulder, all handcuffed and
Oh
fucking...
my God.
Oh, man.
When you
this
put
is-
things into perspective.
I can just imagine what's going with this motherfucker on this. He's sitting there like, man, the things I do for a fucking paycheck. Holy shit.
What have you done for a paycheck?
Oh, I've done some fucking shit shows for paychecks. Don't get me wrong. I am not mad at you, Callan Mulvey. I just know I've been there, man. I've been there. Don't worry. I've been there. Sometimes you don't know it's a shit show, though, until it's done and they release it and you're like, oh my God, this is a shit show.
Yeah. That's why there's some things I will never watch that you're in.
Yeah.
I will never see.
Holy shit, they're a shit show.
I've seen your scenes. That's about enough.
Yeah, that's all you need.
That's it.
My scenes are good. If I'm like performing or directing or coordinating in it, it's probably pretty good. All right, maybe not directing. I'm still working on that.
No.
My directing still needs
No,
work.
you're direct. Yeah, but Deadsville Rock and Roll Mysteries is going to be
That is
fabulous.
good. I am very proud of that. The older stuff, though, man, you can find some shit that I made out there from years ago. That's
Yeah, we don't have to worry about that.
But that's it's all
up and coming.
Yeah. So.
Things in.
All right, man, we got to keep it rolling on this one. So we got so then there's no trial. She's just like, yeah, we're just killing everybody, blah, blah, blah. And this was another dumb fucking scene. They got, so then, they hang the abusive dude.
Well, there is a point. So we're going to rush through this kind of quickly. But when they do have like this trial, like before she kind of kidnapped the dad, they kind of, all the parents and adults like laugh at the kids.
Oh my God, yes, I forgot this fucking scene.
And
they have the town meeting. Oh my God, the town meeting. Oh my God.
What, this is going to be another long episode.
Oh my God.
Here we go. He's going to go on another rant.
Go ahead, go. You go first.
Okay,
Go.
so no, they're in this meeting and they're talking about the corn. We had some big corporation come in, and now all our corn's dead. So they want to.
You get the backstory of why the town is dying.
Why the town is dying, and they want to get. Some other corporation.
No, it's subsidized by the government.
Yes.
The government will pay you to not grow corn.
Yes, and they're going to dig it up and just, bury it.
That's the next plan.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So all the adults are like, yeah, cool, whatever. Let's do it.
That's our only choice.
The kids in Eden were like, we didn't get a vote.
And then, no, the kids walk in, though. Bo first comes in. And Bo does her big, you can't do this, Dad, blah, blah, blah. And Bo all of a sudden cares about the town. She's so broken.
She's leaving
and she's leaving in 2 weeks and couldn't wait to get away from the scene before when she's giving her fucking brother the letter. And now all of a sudden... do this to the town.
But it's still kind of believable to a degree because she
but she's overdoing it, dude.
She was overdoing it.
It's like fucking so much.
It was too dramatic. But
it's one thing if you're like
she cares that they're cashing in.
Right, it's one thing to care about it, but she was like pouring her heart out in the fucking you can't do it.
But anyway, we know that about her. So Eden is like, well, we didn't get a vote. I know.
Oh my God.
These parents, and we already know that Calder, whatever his name is, he got into, in the middle of his dad, kind of fighting with the younger brother.
Yeah, he gets beat up.
They get beat up.
They get abused.
At home.
These kids all have tough lives, man. They get abusive, shitty parents. They're all fucking shitty, all abusive. The whole fucking town sucks.
Yeah. So the dad, he's like kind of like the one that starts, you're just a little kid, and they all start laughing, and the entire room
is just
starts cackling and pointing, like
just like bullying the shit out of this 12-year-old girl. Just
again, in the beginning of Carrie, when they're all like pointing, they're all gonna laugh at you. Yeah. It was
imagine a courtroom full of adults. Kids with a vote. Oh my! It was so fucking laughable. I was like, really?
What were they doing?
It was like cackling, like you do to me sometimes.
I do that to you often. You're always making a fool of yourself.
Whatever.
But seriously, it was kind of ridiculous.
It was laughably ridiculous.
I was like...
No adult is going to go that hard on a kid like that. No fucking way.
And Bo's dad...
all of them.
Except Bo's dad.
Bo's dad was like, what is wrong with you people?
Yeah.
And I was like...
He's like, that's a child. That's a child.
Like, what's wrong with you people? That's a child. And I'm thinking to myself, well, what do you expect? We're poorly written actors in a bad movie. That's what's wrong with us.
But I also thought that it kind of needed that moment of the parents being bullies, but you didn't. If you go from the original Children of the Corn, you didn't need these parents to be bullies.
Right.
You just needed the kids wanting to kill parents, and that's it. Right. That's what the original did.
And that's a big problem with today's horror. This is what I see all the time now in today's horror when they do shit like this. They have to make the people who get killed deserve it.
Yes.
They make them deserve it, and that way. So you at home, and that's the problem. The reason Children of the Corn, the original one, was scary was because those kids killed good parents. They didn't give a fuck. It was a cult that came and rose up and just killed all the parents. Didn't matter if you're a good parent, bad parent, anything like that.
If you were under 19.
If you're under 19, you lived. If you were over 19, that's it, dead. So anybody over 19, dead, didn't matter.
Including the ones that did the actual original killings. They had in the original, they had their birthdays that they wrote down, and 19, they offed you.
Right. So the point was, though, that as a parent watching this at home, that's what kind of freaks you out. Oh shit, my kid could fucking turn on me and kill me in my sleep. And he could just sneak right up because I trust my kid and he just fucking kill me, slit my throat.
Yeah.
Like that was a scary fucking thing. But when you watch this one, as a parent, if you're a decent parent and you're not beating your kid and you're not selling out your fucking hometown to corporations and shit, and you're not a pastor molesting a kid, then you don't feel like you're in danger. There's no fucking stakes for you because this is all shitty people. This only happens to, you see what I'm getting at?
It was very.
This only happens to
they
shitty
to give
parents.
Reasons.
This right, and they do this now in all these movies. They make the fucking people who get killed shitty,
Not just that
so that you
somebody
feel
was
like they deserve it,
possessed.
so that you at home can feel like, oh well, that's the shitty person. They deserve it, and it kind of takes away a certain. I feel like it takes
Fear.
away a fear factor from me at home watching it,
Absolutely.
because now I'm like, I'm not a shitty person like that. That wouldn't happen to me.
But it's supposed to be like you're supposed to be able to believe that it's going to happen to you at any point.
Right, and that's why
any
the
point.
original Children of the Corn was effective, and this one is absolutely not. And so many movies that they do nowadays, when they do this stuff,
Yeah.
are just not effective. When they use these cliches and tropes and throw all this shit in there, that's just you've seen it so many times in movies before. It's ineffective now.
Because in the original movie, if you were like Bert and I was whatever Sarah Connor's person was, you would go into a town. Well, we probably would be fine if we went into that town because we didn't actually hurt these children.
Right.
You know, like you have that kind of mindset. Like,
Right.
am I really going to be affected by this? Or
Right,
is it
and even
just
when the
people?
when
Yeah.
the kids have their town meeting later, they're like nobody in or out. It wasn't even about killing adults or anything like that. They were like, yeah, we're just blocking ourselves off. And then eventually they were like, we're gonna get other kids in other towns to get on board this
Did they
thing.
say
But
that?
yeah,
I
yeah,
missed
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I
But it
missed
wasn't. But they didn't do anything about the kill anybody over 19. There was none of that. There was none of that.
No.
And yeah, it was just that was a big fucking huge fucking problem with this one.
Yeah. So we don't have to go into everything, but like the major things that we kind of differed on, I kind of liked all the kills. Like I said, every time I was
Yeah, let's
kind
talk
of
about the kills because that's my next gripe.
I was kind of being like pulled out. So the first kill was the hanging of that asshole dad.
Of the
But I
asshole
thought it was
dad.
cool because she's eating an apple on the front porch. She's got her horse from the preacher. Now that
Right.
she's sitting there. What? And I'm like, where is that rope going? I didn't know where it was.
I kind of had a feeling somebody was attached to that rope. I thought it was going to be.
I didn't. I thought it was like.
I thought it was going to be Bo's dad. That's what I thought it was going to be.
I didn't know.
Oh, but-
I didn't
but he
see
was
that
in the car,
I knew
so it couldn't have
something
been
was
him.
happening. I thought maybe it was tied to like lock people in. I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
They open the doors and it's the abusive dad hanging,
Yeah.
and then she
and here comes and it's great. Whatever, hang him. But the tagline and the previews and everything for this movie said, and even when we read the synopsis, it was a bloody rampage. It was the kids on a bloody rampage, and here we go, just right off the bat. The first death that we see on camera is in the opening scene. We see one stick of the knife and a little bit of blood, and the guy goes down. Then we don't see anything.
Was
All
this
the killing is off
PG-13?
camera.
I didn't actually.
Check it. I'm not
Fair
sure.
to know.
I'm not sure. But check while I rant real quick on this.
Go on.
But so then the next kill we see is this hanging. It's another bloodless death. We were promised a bloody rampage, and here we got a hanging from a horse. And look, okay, great, it's a death, it's a kill, but dude, I'm here for blood. I'm here for gore. You said bloody fucking massacre. Bloody rampage. Okay, so we killed it, nothing. Then, I forget where the next kill comes in. Do they do the priest next, or do they gas and fucking bury everybody?
No, they.
At one point, they gas all the parents who were in a fucking.
Yeah, that's probably. And then
Let's get to this one too, because here's another bloodless death. They gas all the parents who were in a fucking holding cell, and they pass out, and then they wake up, and they're in the and they're in the cornfield swimming pool pit with the blood-painted corn stalks that they dug, and they wake up and they're like, oh, we're doing it, and then a big lot of talking and rah rah rah, and then you have a stupid idiot that's like, wait till I get you, rah rah, because that's what people do when you're about to die is fucking yell at the kid some more, and then of course she's just like, yeah, you're gonna die. She's her big high and mighty moment, blah blah blah. Eden says some stuff, and then they just bury him with like dirt. They put dirt on him and they're being crushed, and the crushing, and again. No blood. They kill all these parents. But no blood. Not a fucking drop. Not a drop. Not a single drop of blood seen in that entire scene. And conveniently enough, luckily for Bo, her mom's arm with the bracelet that Bo wanted to have was sticking out of the top of the rubble of the fucking mass grave. Just happened to be, she didn't get buried even though we saw her get crushed. Her hand just happened to be sticking out of the top enough.
She
just
got
up
pushed
enough.
Down by another guy.
Yeah, by another guy. She was getting stomped on, and they were getting climbed on. This is total bullshit.
This is why when I said that the kills were brutal, and you were like, no, they weren't bloody enough. I thought this was brutal.
Okay, putting yourself in a situation, sure, it's brutal, but it's not bloody. This isn't a bloody rampage.
I didn't read
This is like, so the arm's out to here, and Bo gets to cry and take the fucking bracelet and put it on. But you know what? We don't give a shit about her mom's death because the mom never had a single line in the movie and was nothing but a whore. She was like a runoff cheating whore. She was cheating on her husband.
So?
And you even said it was like a prostitute. Is that not a whore?
That's why we...
Am I not? If she's a prostitute, we're not allowed to call them whores anymore? Is that offensive to prostitutes? Are we offended prostitutes with whore now?
It's offensive to sex workers, yes.
Really?
I don't know. I'm just trying to be PC.
Okay, well, you PC whores can cancel me. I'm still using whore.
All right.
I like my whores. Nice and hoary. Anyway, so you don't give a shit about her death. You don't care that her mom just died. Bo's crying her eyes out, but Bo's been crying for the last 45 minutes of the movie. So who fucking cares? Bo's crying again. There's nothing new there. But now her mom's dead, and I'm supposed to care? I don't give a shit. Her mom was a cheating hoe. Can I say hoe?
I don't think so. I don't know.
No, I say hoe? Fuck! I fucking hate this world anymore.
It all sounds weird to me.
But yes, bloodless deaths do not a bloody rampage make. God damn this fucking movie, man.
It was rated R, by the way.
It was rated R, and they didn't have any blood, and all these adults killed. So then they fucking pulled the fucking the priest. The priest.
Yeah.
Because for some reason they kept some adults alive. Like they took a bunch of them. Remember they kept the priest and the dad and.
Feeding
There was some that they held for a little. Like they gassed everybody. No, but they gassed it and took a whole bunch of them and put them in the mass grave and then buried them, right? Mm-hmm. But then they came back and the preacher was still there and the dad was still there.
I think she wanted,
And like she wanted to toy with, she wanted to fuck with them, she wanted to play with her food. I don't know what the fuck was. Was she trying to ration the fucking food to the corn monster?
Probably. Whatever.
It just didn't make any fucking sense. But at any rate, they drag the preacher out, and here's where we get the hint that he molested Eden when she moved in with him. They doesn't actually say it, but that's what is implied here, that he had another sin. He didn't sin against the corn, Pastor. You didn't sin against the corn. Jesus fucking Christ. He didn't sin against the corn, Pastor. But you did sin, didn't you? And then you get
she plucks his eyeballs
they drag him out, and what's amazing
Can you grab my eyeballs with one hand?
One hand, and the eyeballs were all tiny and googly and pointing like a Fraggle to either side of his head when they fucking, like it was so fake carving it, and then they pointed it, they cut back and they cut away and they come back and it's these two googly fucking Fraggle eyes with this terrible prosthetic on it.
I like that cheese.
Oh, it was awful.
I like it.
It was awful. And there was no blood, like there wasn't blood, there was like literally when she sticks the knife in and we hear the sound effect.
She gets a little.
There's like a tiniest little spray of blood, or it just blip. It was like 3 flecks. Oh my God, there's 3 flecks of blood. That's it. Oh my God. And she's
liked
gouging her eyes out. It was terrible.
I liked the kills. I liked all the kills in this movie.
It was terrible. It was terrible. Okay, let's get to Calder's death, which happens right before the pastor gets his eyes gouged out. And the father is amping up Bo and the fucking teenagers, and there's 4 like full-grown teenagers, 4 full-grown teenagers and maybe 10 little ones, we're calling them. Is that what they're calling them?
What they said.
Little ones? So little ones. Oh, the little ones. Oh, they said it like 10 fucking times. So fucking annoying. But there's 10 little ones, and 2 of them have aluminum baseball bats. So you would think, 4 post-pubescent, 18 and up, grown, pretty much adults could take out 2 little ones with aluminum bats, right? You would think you could overpower these fucking kids. Like they didn't, maybe Eden had the fucking knife that she dug the eyes out with. That was it. Like I didn't, what the fuck would it?
There was 3 of them that had chainsaws.
No, that was walking down the street. I didn't see the chainsaws in the fucking room.
They were outside the room.
Okay, but you still could have gotten those bats from those 2 fucking kids, and me as a full-grown adult, I'll take on a kid with a chainsaw with a bat any fucking day.
Oh yeah.
Any fucking day, and I will bash his fucking skull in.
It's a metal bat, yeah.
Yep, I guarantee it. An aluminum bat, give me that bat, I will take out at least 2 of those chainsaw kids. If one of you other fucking adult-sized people could take the other one, we're in business. But nope. What happens is, Calder, who's been pretty fucking smart, he's been pretty logical, has a good head on his shoulders, he knows what's going on, he's aware. He just decides to go kamikaze, batshit, and just run. Something has to be done, run! He fucking charges.
Who does that?
Just charges Eden. And this fucking confuses me too. We're assuming, because he just runs.
I just am assuming.
I'm assuming because he tried to run between the bat kids. So you got a bat kid on one side, bat kid on the other side. And he's charging up the middle like he's going to do something, right? But like common sense would tell you, go after the kid with the fucking weapon closest to you, right? Like, I've been in a lot of fights. I grew up in Philly. I've been in a lot of fights. I've been in gang fights and shit where you gotta fight people with weapons. You gotta fight more than one fucking person. There are certain rules, and if you're even a little bit fucking smart, you don't just charge in head first like a fucking idiot. And he just fucking runs in, and he catches a bat to the back, like a fucking dumbass, drops down to his knees, and this is probably the best kill of the fucking movie, I would say. This kid with fucking, he must have been the home run hitter on Little League, because he fucking smashes his side of his face off, and we get a nice close-up of the fucking face
and mandible.
Yeah,
and
I think that was digital, though. I don't think that was prosthetic. Did you think that was prosthetic?
It was borderline. I don't know.
Maybe a little bit of both. I feel like it wasn't.
I think he had makeup on, and
I feel like
they
it was
just
digital,
enhanced
maybe.
Yeah, because
maybe
it was
enhanced, because it was. I mean, it was like a big chunk of his face was taken out from a metal bat, which I question if that would physically happen anyway. It would probably
I totally
shatter.
believe that it would.
I just think it would shatter his jaw. I don't think it would like take a chunk out of his face. That's what I imagine. But at any rate,
I've seen things in the ER that you would be like, what? How did that?
Yeah, and I won't argue that. My whole point is just the whole death scene. Like, and they built him up to be a decent character. He was literally like the only one I kind of cared about, because Bo was annoying as fuck. Bo was absolutely annoying. He was actually kind of sympathetic because his dad was kicking his ass. He knew the deal. He was trying to get out of town. And he was the only one with a little bit of sense when you kind of meet all these fucking kids and you kind of feel bad for him, man. Mm-hmm. He was the only one. And then they give him this fucking unceremonial death where, like, they could have killed any of those fucking stupid girls that were inconsequential later, because I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to make a point that here's where you get make the point that Eden means business and these kids are brutal and here's your bloody rampage, and that was it. It was just fucking wrong character to do it to.
Yeah, they could have sent him off to be like the hero and try to like get to the next town and
something like that. I mean, or kill him better. Have him killed later, trying to do something
fight
smart.
A little bit,
right? Yes, like have him put up a fight, like something, like doing something. It was just so dumb the way he died. It was just nobody would do that. Nobody would just be like, "You're right, something's got to be done." Oh, and just run headlong.
I mean, that's
nothing. It's just so fucking stupid.
If you never planned to watch this, that's exactly what it was like.
It was so fucking stupid. It was so fucking stupid.
All right, so then we get the preacher kill. Who
Yeah, the
else
preacher
we-
kill. So then, and then she tells the dad to go out to the corn. They're going to send the adults to the corn.
Yeah, so we don't know what happens to them. But
So they go to the corn.
then we get the reporter.
Right, because they go back in and we get the whole thing with the kid with the arrow on Bo, but at this point, Eden has to make sure point say, Bo's, she's no threat to us. You could put it down. Like she has to totally discount her as a threat now, and because who the fuck would do that too? Like this girl's been
Ever.
trying to thwart your plans the entire fucking movie, but she's not a threat. And you're about to kill her dad, but you're not about to kill her dad. You just sent her dad into the corn to die. But she's not a threat, right? You just sent her dad to die, but she's not a threat. Sure,
Yeah,
okay.
I thought, yeah,
and they just leave her.
And she's also not possessed by, He Who Walks.
Yeah,
but-
she never went and visited He Who Walks. There was that whole thing with her brother went and visited the He Who Walks, and we saw the kid with the flashing face, which made no sense. Why would a kid running past stop and look in the window and flash Bo her fucking flower face and then run off?
Flower.
Just out of nowhere. Just hey Bo, look at my flower face. Blah, blah. And it's just random. How do you even know Bo's looking at you as you're running? She's just running by the street and it's like,
She knows.
ah!
She just knows.
It's
She knew exactly who was looking.
Oh God, it was so bad. It was so bad. Okay, so then we had what? So the girl, yeah.
Yeah, so the
They go back
reporter
to her
goes out.
meeting.
They Bo thinks that she's gonna she thinks that being able to run out into the corn is actually your
Safe.
way, it's
'Cause she
safe.
still doesn't
because
believe.
she sent 2 girls out. Oh, you can go to the next town.
But she still doesn't believe about
No,
he,
she doesn't.
he who walks.
Yeah.
Let's talk. Oh God.
Not he who walks behind.
Not he who walks behind the rose.
No.
Not let's take this one out real quick. I'm gonna rant this one real quick. Let's get it out of the way. Not he who walks behind the rose. They just call him he who walks in this one. And another thing that just makes no fucking sense. What walks where? Walks? We all fucking walk. Everybody in the movie was fucking walking. What the fuck does that even mean? He who walks behind the rose meant something in the original Children of the Corn. It was like the evil behind the corn that you never really saw. It was just kind of lurking
Until
behind
it was
the
an
corn.
amoeba
It was
of
evil.
awful, computerized something that just took over somebody. Do you remember those scenes?
Which, in the original?
Yeah. It was just a color that kind of went over.
Yeah, when they would just draw a little color over the film back in the day. Yeah, that would
Oh yeah, it was pretty. It looked like an amoeba, just going up, and you're like, ah.
All right, but that was the technology back then. The
doesn't
technology today is a lot better, and we wound up with fucking. I got to give Jesse Zito credit for this one. We ended up with Corn Groot. But
but it was.
But I didn't did I finish the other rant? I didn't even finish the other rant, did I?
I don't know. You got a lot that you're.
I know.
doing,
There's so much to rant on in this fucking movie.
You didn't finish what rant?
I was just on the other rant, but Corn Groot. Corn Groot. So, we were talking about it. Oh, the He Who Walks Behind the Rose. That's what it was. It was the He Who Walks Behind the Rose. So they changed it to just He Who Walks.
Yeah.
With no reference. What the fuck does that have to do with corn? That has nothing to do with corn. It could be anything. It is just so fucking vague. There is nothing even sinister to it. He who walks behind the rose has a bit of a sinister feel to it. He who walks, what the fuck does that even mean?
I don't know. It just.
Why?
I don't know.
Why did they change it? You know what else I noticed on here? I'm looking on the IMDb page, and I'm just going to point out real quick on the writer credits where it says writers.
Yeah.
Kurt Wimmer and Stephen King.
Uncredited.
Stephen King's listed as uncredited. Yeah, I bet he's glad he's uncredited on this motherfucker. He ain't taking a credit on this. He has no parts to do with this fucking piece of shit. Holy shit. Okay. Corn Groot.
Transformer.
The fucking
Corn.
trans corner.
Trans corner.
Trans corner. This fucking thing. Holy shit. Sometimes not being seen is better. And this is absolutely one of those times. If I never would have saw this fucking thing,
It would have been better.
I would have been better off. This fucking thing looks straight out of it was like a transformer from like a Nickelodeon cartoon.
And we see it when it's killing. So basically, we have this moment where it's killing the reporter. You know, they bring her out to feed, and you know, Bo thinks she's going to save her.
This is the part
or
where all
whatever.
the kids finally see it, though, and see that it's real.
Yes, and you have this moment where it's not coming. It's not there's like that small little, and it tricked me for 1 second. I told you this when Bo was like, "It doesn't exist. It's not real. It's all in your imagination. It's you." And I'm like, "Oh shit! Is that the direction we're going in?" Like I just thought it was going to take a total different twist, and I was like, "Oh wow, really, really?" And that would have been worse, actually.
Well, yeah, because they didn't lay seeds for that at all.
But I really thought, I was like, oh my God, is that where we're going with this? But no, then you hear this growl from like the cornfields, and boom, boom, boom. Like it's like a giant walking towards, and you don't see it yet. And I thought this was kind of cool where they showed the reporter's face and all the kids kind of stepping back. Like this was a
the kids' reactions were decent. I mean, yes,
like where it was actually
the reactions
decent,
and stuff, and they actually followed all the kids' eyes.
She kind of like looks like this and goes, and she's like petrified with whatever she saw. But then we see the monster, and I was like, what the fuck? Why would you? I wouldn't be scared of that. I wouldn't be scared of that if I saw it tomorrow.
It's like a corn husk.
And it wasn't even like a dead corn husk. Like I
no,
felt
it was
like
green. It was like bright green.
Bright green.
It was like if Groot were made of corn, like corn husks. Not even corn. It was corn
Groot
husks.
looked scarier than
Groot
this
definitely
one.
looks scarier.
And now this thing, when it eventually it has tentacle kind of like it.
Well, it can corn stalk you, whatever.
So
but they didn't even do
moments-
anything cool like that with it, really.
They had like a couple moments, but where it came from the mouth and stuff, you know.
Yeah, it was
I
awful.
don't
It was
know.
terrible.
It was
And
not
then
a
they
good
kill it with
design.
with fire, and obviously is easy fucking. But then let's just get to
You're
the.
just over it. You're like,
I'm
yeah,
so
we kill
over
it.
it. Let's get to the last fucking what the fuck moment. All right. So. Okay.
So in the same scene, they douse her, but
They douse Bo. They knock her out. They knock her out.
She
after
had before He Who Walks comes out. She's like, it's not, you know, it's you. It doesn't exist. And she
Yeah,
puts
and
a
real quick, if they
knife
would
on.
have gone that route where it was just the girl's imagination, like they did not. I don't know if were they trying to do that? Like, were they trying to maybe make that a thing? Because I did not get that feeling at all through the movie anywhere.
No,
that this was the imagination of the girl. So if they were trying to do that,
No, but it did make sense now in hindsight.
that maybe
where I'm
Bo
like,
never saw
Bo
it, would
never
think that it
saw
was.
it,
Yeah, I guess that people.
She
would
thought
think
she
it
was just.
But for us as
crazy.
the audience, they weren't trying to make us think.
That's
that.
why I was like, oh shit, is
That
that
is
is that
right. Is that where we're going?
I was like, guess I can't turn it off now. I don't know what's happening. I'm telling you, there was
flaming
always.
turd.
That's why I kept saying there was so many moments where I was like, I gotta shut this off. I gotta take a break. I knew we were gonna talk about it, but I was like, I gotta take a break. I can't. And then something would just wrap me. I'm like, oh, all right. What's happening now?
Yeah. So then Bo gets after Corn Groot takes after Corn Groot takes the reporter and goes off into the fucking cornfield in a ridiculous CGI shot. They knock out Bo, and then she gets waken up by being splashed and doused in tractor fuel. They're dousing her, and she's soaked in tractor fuel. I mean,
soaked.
there's just so much fucking tractor fuel on Bo.
Like,
Just
I don't even think physics, the law.
the law.
like,
I mean, I think.
of oil
Was she
physics.
wearing pouches all over? Because there was so
It
much
was-
fucking.
Even if you jumped into a pool of the fluid, I don't think that you would be that wet.
No, I don't think so either. There was just so much, like, so they, and what, they send her out to the fucking corn? Do they kick her out or something? She run out, they chase her out?
No, so they try and light a match, and she's like,
Oh, yeah,
again,
she does.
the
Again,
corn
oh,
does-
God, that's a.
Are you insane?
Here comes your foreshadowing. Here, bonk.
The corn
Now you get to
does.
bonk me now, remember? Because bonk.
Bonk.
Oh, I forgot the foreshadowing.
You're gonna blow up all of you
Blow
and
us to
me and
smithereens
all
at
of
the-
us in this whole goddamn town.
It's corn dust.
I'm just assuming this is the thing.
I think it was corn dust. I don't know. So they're like, yeah, you're right. And then what do they do? I don't even, oh, yeah, they're like, chop her up.
Oh yeah. And
And the kid's gonna chop her up.
she kind of like she's covered. Like, she's so...
Yeah. She starts flinging the fucking... So she's already flung... Right. They douse her, so she's already used some of it to fling and get away from them, right?
And she runs into the cornfield, and we see a trail. Like
holy shit.
Like, it's like a maze.
Trail.
90-degree angles. We're like 90
This is like
angles.
a foot wide fucking canal of fluid that you see behind her as she's running. So much fucking fluid.
At 90-degree angles.
At 90-degree angles. Turns at an exact... Yes. It turned 90 degree... Exactly at a 90-degree angle. And then she's running through the fucking corn, and she's... You can see she's like wiping it all on the corn, so the corn's getting all covered. Because she's just got excess.
I didn't catch that, though.
Oh, dude, she's got so much. You can see the hands. She's like hitting all the corn, and all the fucking stalks are getting shit on them and everything. And then...
But by now, in real life, she would be like...
She'd be dry.
Not dry, but
she would be pretty fucking dry. She'd probably be passed out from the fumes.
Well, that's it.
But
I don't even... Yeah, this whole thing.
So she runs all through the corn and puts the shit everywhere, and then...
She runs like 3 miles, I think.
Oh, and then she finds the car. And it's like, the car. So, bonk, they're back to the car in the middle of the cornfield for no reason. And she gets to the car and she's trying to start it up, and the kids are after her, right? The kids and everybody's after her now. They're trying to chop her up. But they're coming.
They're coming.
And so she gets the car started and drives through the cornfield because there's no way into where this fucking car is parked. There's only just corn. So she's driving blind through the fucking corn. And she pop out on the street or something? And then the car runs out of gas?
Yeah, she comes.
Is that what happened?
She comes out and she sees like the sign to go to the town, and she goes like "F that." Like she doesn't say.
Oh
that.
yeah.
And then she goes to turn.
Yeah.
And I was like, and the car dies. And then poof, Eden's in the back seat the whole time.
Was she? Oh my God. Was she in there the whole time? Oh my God.
What? She didn't just pop into the car.
I thought she did. I thought she just popped. I don't even remember that.
Well, they didn't show that. They just showed her popping up, and she's
Jesus
like,
Christ.
"Hey, Bo." Oh, creepy. And you're like, fuck, why is this girl in the back seat?
Corn Groot slid her in there real quick.
And then she just like climbs into the front seat. And
Oh yeah, and then they're just talking, and then she has the cattle killing gun. Yes. Oh my God, that's right. They have this whole fucking long conversation. You know it's coming, Bo. I'll make it quick. You know what this is, and all that shit. And there's like.
Why didn't you just kill her?
Well, no, because they never just killed them. It's a movie. They never just fucking killed them. And especially in this movie, they're never just going to kill them. They got to talk a whole lot. And here it comes. Here comes the fucking kicker. Just when you thought it couldn't get any fucking stupider. Just when you thought it couldn't get any fucking stupider. Here we go. Here comes the sequence of fucking dumb that is going to blow your fucking mind. When you watch this movie and it happens, you actually feel your brain cells dying. It is so fucking stupid. I literally felt myself watching it. Like, what? Okay, so it's her last request, and there's a pack of grandmom's, because it was his grandmom's car.
Yeah.
Grandmom's ancient fucking cigarettes on the dashboard.
Which grandma didn't need her car in a year.
So there's cigarettes up there, and she's last request, can I have a cigarette? Oh, you smoke, Bo? Bad habit. I really should quit.
Well, I was
they're like talking about smoking.
So this is how dumb I am, though, because you probably saw this coming. I was like, what? Where?
And I was just like, what? Really? This is what we're doing?
I didn't get
And you're
it.
fucking, and the girl's just like, yeah, okay. You're gonna let the girl who's covered in fucking tractor fuel have a cigarette in the fucking car? Right next, what the? Like, because that's what I was expecting to happen was the fucking...
lighter.
So it's an old-ass car, and they got an electric lighter. You push the electric lighter in. And I know some of you millennials and Gen Zers and youngins and people have no idea what the fuck I'm about to be talking about. But they used to have electric lighters that you would put in your fucking car to light your cigarette, because smoking was the cool thing to do back in the day. You had fucking ashtrays and all that shit, and where you plug your little fucking prong thingy now... You put a fucking electric lighter and you push it in, and it would heat this fucking coil up, and it was a metal coil, and you would pull it out, and it would be fucking red fucking hot. And you would pop that baby boy in your cigarette and suck that jar and light it up. And it would stay red hot for about how long, Steph Infection?
Maybe a minute.
No.
A minute?
A minute?
Maybe.
No, there is no way.
Maybe.
It would not stay. Steph, there's no way it was a minute.
Not that red.
There's no way it was a minute.
It would be
There's
hot.
no way it was a minute. If it was 15 seconds, you were lucky, man. I remember using those things and trying to light a blunt.
all the time.
Yes, and I'd be there, and I'd have the blunt, and I'd pull the thing out, and somebody would say something, and I'd answer them, and then I'd go to light it, and I'd be like, oh shit, I got to redo the fucking thing, because it's out.
All right, maybe 30 seconds. Maybe.
Yeah, if it's 30 seconds, you're fucking lucky, man. That shit, you're lucky.
But I'm saying maybe it was like kind of warm for a minute, but.
Okay. So at any rate, push the thing in, I'm out a cigarette, pops back out, she gets out of the car.
This is about like 4 minutes.
Well, she gets out of the car with the fucking cigarette, I guess in this hand, and with the fucking lighter in this hand. And Eden gets out of the car, and they go to the front of the car, because it's going to be just execution style, because 12-year-olds just execute motherfuckers execution style with cattle guns, because that's how they do shit, right? I mean, everybody knows that, how to execute people at 12. So puts her on her knees in front of the fucking car. They talk.
Yeah, like
for
it was
like
4 minutes. Yeah.
They have all this dialogue, banter, evil, good guy, bad guy, less that is, ba. And then, of course, Bo's got to be like, yeah, Eden, I just have one last thing to say. Did you really think that I didn't plan to end up right here where I wanted to be at the end of all this? And Eden's like, oh.
And they show it.
And Bo pulls up the lighter, and it's still like red fucking hot.
Right.
And then she takes it and, oh, burn, and puts it. And all this time they're talking, Bo could have just shot her in the fucking head with the cattle gun at any point.
But
even
still,
seeing the fucking thing. And oh, no, you don't, bitch, punk.
She puts the thing down, and it's like...
And it just lights up everything. Fucking, and of course, it just follows the fucking trail, that is the snail trail that has been left because not only that's what happened, like she drove the car away, but the car was leaking gas, so that of course left a nice long trail of gas too, all the way back through the cornfield and through all the trenches that were dug by the pyrotechnics guy that were super straight lines that I guess Bo was just running perfectly straight lines and then making like 45-degree angles through the corn and
running at 90-degree angles.
Yeah, it was just so controlled and obvious.
But something that I noticed, like first off, I don't think that you could actually light that up that profoundly.
I don't think
with an actual pop-in lighter.
Yeah,
I
like
really don't. I think you need a spark. Yeah. So I kept saying in my head, I'm like, I literally said to myself, I go, she missed her opportunity to light her cigarette. Like, because she was talking at this point, I really thought, I'm like, what the hell? What was the whole point of that? Did we just miss it? Because there's no way that later, I may have said a minute, and that was me being very, very gracious and generous with what the timing is, because she was talking for a good 4 minutes, and even at like 2 minutes, I was like,
that thing's out by now.
I
she didn't even light her cigarette yet.
And then I thought we were going to use the actual cigarette to light it, because that's a spark.
That's what I was expecting too. You're stalling while you're smoking your cigarette. Not just that would give a reason for them to be like talking. You're letting her finish her cigarette.
Yes.
Like there were ways that this could have worked if you actually took time to write. Hey Eden, you didn't think that I would be right where I wanted to be at this moment? Right where I wanted to be with this lighter? And the lighter is still red hot.
Bright red.
Burn! And she fucking puts it to the ground, and the whole fucking shit just ignites, like whoosh, whoosh,
like
and it
very quickly.
Whooshes down the fucking row, and just whoosh into the cornfield, and
90-degree
angles, and weaving and bobbing through the fucking corn, and fucking bang, and fucking all the way back, and Eden goes, oh, and
everything goes kaboom.
Doesn't fucking bother cattle gunning her or anything during any of this or whatsoever, just letting her talk. And
she's like, she was sitting there and she's like, no.
Yeah, then she starts crying. And then
but it wasn't very believable. No.
And then, it wasn't. But then Corn Groot comes along and he's on fire. And what did she bonk him in the head with the gun? Doesn't she did she gun him?
What?
Doesn't Bo stick something in his head or something? Doesn't
that
she?
Was earlier.
Oh, that was earlier?
Yeah,
okay.
That was way earlier.
Yeah, I'm confused.
But the point of this at this ending is Groot's on fire.
Groot's on fire.
And all the kids kind of seemingly come out of their possession. You see them kind of all coming to. Except Eden's like, I'm going to just walk into the cornfield with you and get burned alive. And she they go hand in hand into the court. into the cornfield.
Into the cornfield.
And that's that. So
That's what we think. But then, we had the whole Cecil like snapping at him and all the kid, and he gives his sister a little nod, like, yeah, everything's good, sis. Even though we mass murdered all the parents in the town, we're A-okay.
Unbloody way.
In an unbloody massacre kind of way.
It's all good.
We're all good. We're totally well-adjusted kids now. Happy ending.
Hey.
Like, that's what I was getting from his look at the end. I'm like,
well,
wait, so you and your sister are now reconnecting after you murdered everybody, including your own mother?
I took
and
it
father?
as I'm not possessed anymore, sis, so I'm with you.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be all that, like...
I don't know. Dad died, too. Don't forget they found Dad all fucked up.
Yeah.
Let's, mangled. Fuck him.
This movie. Yeah, let's go on. So then, I don't know. I don't know what happens to all these other people.
They all go to jail for murder, I would think.
No, there's no adults, so they definitely...
Somebody's got to come in and put these kids in jail for murder.
They said, like, Candlestick is like the
Candlestick's coming, put them in jail for murder. Fucking kids.
No, they're not going to jail.
Go to jail. Murder.
Anyway.
Then
we cut to...
the next day.
What we think, like, is our Carrie ending.
The Carrie ending, because every Stephen King movie's got to have a Carrie ending now. And
I guess so.
They have their little twist ending where...
Bo's walking
through the burned cornfield. Mm-hmm. And she finds the little ring, the daffodil ring that Eden wore, and picks it up and closes her hand and closes her eyes, and then opens her eyes and opens her hand, and the daffodil is gone. Is it magic? Is she David Blaine? I don't know. Nobody knows.
No, this didn't happen. He's creating a totally different vibe for actually what happened.
I know. But no, she opens her hand and the fucking thing's gone. And she's like, whoa.
And then we hear footsteps and go on. Come on, we don't gotta...
I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it. Okay, so then we see what is clearly Eden's boots, and they burnt to a crisp from boot all the way up.
Slow pan up.
Yep, to her face, and it's all what we said CGI kind of like, and she's like, nothing dies in the corn, and then all this
dies in the corn.
And the like stalks and vines kind of come at her and kind of engulf Bo, and we believe she dies, obviously.
Yeah, all the things crush her head. Crush Bo's head. I fucking hate her.
But we don't know if it's a dream or if it's real.
Was she crying in that scene? I think that might have been the one scene Bo wasn't crying in.
Oh, it was a dream.
Yeah, that's why.
Anyway, so that's the ending.
That explains it.
So
that's the end of the turd. I mean, it just that the ending with the fucking, it just kills me. The writing was so bad. It wrote itself to me and you. We're both sitting there thinking to ourselves the same thing. Like, she's gonna light the cigarette and then be smoking the cigarette.
I was like, oh, man.
And that would give reason for the conversation. Then that would give them a reason to kind of go to the back of the car and kind of have this talk while she's smoking her final cigarette before she gets executed. And that would make sense for all this to happen, even though she was covered in jet fuel. And it makes no sense to give a person covered in jet fuel a final cigarette whatsoever. But we're going to let that one slide, I guess. But even then, it's like,
it did cross my mind, though. I was like, oh, she's going to...
Because then the fucking cigarette stays lit for 4 minutes during a conversation, and you can actually throw it down, and that's hot enough to fucking light up the gas.
Yeah.
But again, I just feel like, oh God, I feel like this fucking clown-ass director just was so hung up on using the kitschiness of the fucking car lighter to ignite his grand finale to this flaming turd.
He was focused on that he
didn't even care if it fucking made sense or was physically possible or anything. It's a movie, we're just gonna go with it because I'm just mailing this one in. He's just mailing it the fuck in. This shit is so dumb, man. It's like insultingly dumb. Mm-hmm. That's why I get mad sometimes when I watch some of these movies, because
sometimes he gets mad a lot.
It insults my intelligence, man. They treat people like they're stupid, and I would say horror fans, but it's all movies, these movies, man. Yeah. Hollywood makes so many movies that just treat people like they're fucking stupid, and it's offensive. I hate them. Anti-Hollywood.
I know.
Even though I've worked in it.
We are not anti-Hollywood, but we love you, Hollywood. Fire a sitcom.
We're pro-streaming. Hollywood's dying anyway. The old days of Hollywood and everything are dying.
Is.
So many people make movies all over the place now.
Any of you.
This movie was made in Australia.
Any of you can buy us for the right price.
We'll go to Australia and make movies. We don't care. But this was made in Australia. It's supposed to be... Oh, that was the other little... That was a little bit...
We didn't really do trivia because there wasn't a whole lot. But
no, but the little bit of trivia is this was actually shot in 2020, which we did kind of talk about a little bit, I guess. Yeah. And it just sat because nobody wanted to buy it. Nobody wanted to release it, I guess.
No, he's making stuff up right now.
No, it just sat. Oh, no, I guess there was a money issue with getting it finished.
No, there wasn't.
Oh, was it a COVID thing? That's why?
It was just a COVID thing.
Well, why didn't it come out a year ago? There was movies that were made of COVID that came out before this.
I don't know.
Like, why 2023 come to theater and Shudder? Did they want to wait? I don't know. I don't know, man.
I don't know when it was in the theater. I
remember Jesse saw it in the theater, I think.
Yes, but I don't know if it was last year or this year.
Yeah, it was a little while ago, but I don't know. It was a turd, man. Don't fucking...
So, okay.
But the other trivia, it's shot in the town of, it's a fictional town that they call it of, what's it fucking called?
Ryle something?
Ryleville or Ryle, I don't know, Ryleton?
Yeah.
Rylestone. It's shot in Rylestone, New South Wales, Australia, as the fictional town Rylestone, Nebraska, USA. So yes, Rylestone is what
those Nebraskans.
Yes, so they still left like Rylestone's stuff up.
Yes, that's cool.
And you can kind of tell it's not America in some of those. I mean, the cornfields are, but when they're in parts in the woods, there's like stuff where you're like,
I didn't catch that at all. So I don't know what parts in the woods you're talking
Nebraska.
about.
There was like some stuff that looked a little, I don't know. There was stuff on trees that was kind of like mossy and it kind of had a swampy almost feel in a couple scenes, and I was like,
is Australia swampy?
Yeah, there's.
Is it swampy?
Yeah. Yeah, there's swampy parts in the outback.
All right.
But not in Nebraska that I'm aware of. I mean, there might be, but I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, where are we at?
We, before giving our finals, should just say some comments at some of our friends.
Why are they in here meowing?
Shh, I don't care.
Okay.
I have work in the morning.
All right, let's get through this. Go ahead. Let's read no mailbag this week. We're going to read some comments from you guys. So
we made some. We post.
Just go, man.
We posted that we were doing this movie, and Jesse Zito said, "Oh Lord, talk about a snooze fest of a movie. I wasn't expecting much when I went to see it in the theaters, but man, it was so boring. I started to snooze off during the movie, and I woke up like, what did I miss? My friend said nothing, and I believed him. But what was that corn Groot at the end?" And we gave him a shout out for that corn
Groot.
All right,
It was a corn Groot for sure.
Transformer.
Or a Transformer. Yep.
Matthew R. Demers said yesterday. I don't know if that's.
He saw it yesterday. He said, "Have you seen it?" He said yesterday. Yeah.
It's probably yesterday. Eden was sufficiently creepy, even looking like a little Isaac Kroner. But the monster and ending were predictable, and she kind of did resemble. Like I said,
she definitely had Isaac vibes. I mean, she was fucking.
Isaac looked like a 40-year-old child.
Yeah. She didn't look like a 40-year-old, but she definitely had a more mature look about her.
It seems like a lot of people even just gave the, I gotta watch it, I'm a fan, the whole series is ridiculous, and a lot of thumbs down. So.
Yeah, mostly thumbs down, which, we get it. We agree. For the most part. All right, well, final thoughts?
Final thoughts will have to be, like I said, we're gonna put this together with what I recommend it, and no, I would not. Unless you were like a die-hard Children of the Corn fan and you have to see them all, go see it. If you really want to watch it just to see what we're talking about, that's fine. You can laugh with us or maybe fast forward to some of the kills.
Get really high. Maybe it'll help. Maybe I wasn't high enough.
I don't know. I don't get high, but I was drinking wine and it still didn't really help me. I was like... No, I actually didn't for the first time. I was cold stone sober, which probably didn't help it. No. But yeah, no, I don't really recommend it.
No, I won't either. This thing's a steaming pile of shit. It's fucking horrible. Everything about it is terrible. There's no redeeming quality whatsoever. Outside of the one actress performance was pretty good, even though she's given shit to work with. She's pretty creepy. That's about it. That little ending twist was great. I like seeing Bo die. She got on my fucking nerves. There was no fucking blood for a bloody rampage. There was like the least blood I've ever seen in a fucking R-rated movie. Like, this was rated R? Really? Why? Why was this rated R? There was literally maybe the baseball bat scene. That's probably about it. That's the only reason I could see for making this R. Because they closed up on the fucking extreme gore on the face and stayed on it for like 3-4 seconds. That's the only reason this should be R. There is nothing else in here that says R. This thing screams shitty made-for-TV movie to me. This was fucking awful. It was, the fucking script is so fucking bad. This dude mailed it in. He shouldn't be allowed near another fucking horror movie ever. I would never hire him. It is so obvious that he got kicked out. He got kicked out of the boys club, of the Hollywood Boys Club, when he threw a tantrum on the set of Ultraviolet. And now, after years and years and years, he's trying to get back into the game after COVID or during COVID, and he tried to get into this. You take one look at this guy, he looks like a narcissist right off the bat. He looks like some dude, some, narcissistic theater jackass, right? Who thinks he's super fucking talented and thinks he's way more talented than he actually is. Granted, Equilibrium was a good movie. He might be good with action. His action movies and the scripts that he's written here, pretty good. I'm not going to shit on his action movies. But this thing was a piece of fucking shit. And he should be ashamed for writing it. He should be ashamed for directing it. It should be a shame for it to be shown anywhere. It's so fucking bad, man. It should. Stephen King wants his name nowhere near this, I guarantee. That's why he's not credited anywhere in it, other than people talking about it's based on his short story. It's fucking terrible. The fucking stupid CG monster, I could have absolutely done without. The whole thing. It was just awful, man. Don't waste your fucking time.
And here you go. If you didn't listen to our entire podcast, he just wrapped it up in about 30 seconds.
Yep.
He just,
there it is.
You just...
This movie was exhausting on so many levels. But I watched it so you guys don't have to. We watched it and can recommend that you don't waste your fucking time on this piece of shit. All right? And unless it's an action movie, I would avoid anything that this fucking clown directs and writes again. Kurt Wimmer. Kurt Loser.
All right.
Let's wrap it up. The kittens need us. That's it for us, folks. Once again, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Follow us on Spotify. Like, share, comment. Mail us at the mailbag.
DeadsvilleHorrorTalk@gmail.com. Subject, mailbag.
That's it. All right. That's going to do it. Let us know what you want us to review next. I know we got a couple more horror movies new coming out. We got some new things coming up, so we'll see what it is. Send us some emails. Send us some comments. Fill up the mailbag, and we will see you again next week. Stay spooky.
Bye, Scream Hearts.